Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something most households with babies will know about. Top 10 engaging baby toys and gifts. Our mission, as always, is to pull out the key ideas, maybe some surprising facts, from the source material we've reviewed. Basically, giving you a shortcut to understanding what really makes a baby toy engaging and genuinely beneficial.
Exactly. And understanding that why is so important, isn't it? I mean, the market is just flooded with toys. It's easy to get overwhelmed. But if you grasp the developmental purpose behind some of these really popular ones, you can make choices that will truly support your child's growth, not just keep them busy for 5 minutes.
Right, moving beyond just distraction. So let's jump right in. When it comes to those huge milestones like walking, the VTech Sit-to-Stand Learning Walker pops up almost immediately in the sources. It's called a classic, helps with balance, has all the lights, music, shape sorters. It seems to do a lot. What's the deeper insight there?
Well, what the research really points to, I think, is its multimodal engagement. That's the fascinating part. It's not just about the gross motor skills, balance, learning to walk. It's simultaneously hitting fine motor skills and cognitive development, too. Think about it. They're pushing buttons, fitting shapes, seeing the immediate reaction with lights and sounds. That interplay between big movements and small, precise actions is fantastic for building neural pathways. It connects different brain areas.
Oh, okay. So it's like a little portable learning hub.
Pretty much, yeah. It really packs a developmental punch.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so from first steps to maybe first lessons while sitting down, the Fisher-Price Laugh and Learn Smart Stages chair gets mentioned a lot. Talks, sings, teaches ABCs. But the really standout feature, according to our sources, is how it adapts. It grows with the child through different stages.
Yes, and this whole smart stages idea, looking at the bigger picture, is quite significant for sustained development. A toy that can actually increase its complexity as the child develops. That means it keeps challenging them, keeps teaching them.
Yeah. So it doesn't just become wallpaper after a few months.
Exactly. It avoids that quick obsolescence. It uses a kind of scaffolding, really. The content evolves to match where the child is cognitively, encouraging them to reach for that next step without getting too frustrated.
It's amazing how fast they develop, isn't it?
It really is.
Now, for something completely different, a real contrast to the techie stuff, the Melissa and Doug pull toy elephant. Simple, wooden, looks adorable. It's noted for helping with walking and coordination, and, well, it looks nice in the nursery too. But why does something so basic still work so well?
That's a great question. And the material suggests its power lies in focused physical engagement, but without overwhelming sensory input.
Okay.
When a child is pulling that elephant, they're really concentrating on their movement, their coordination, and they're learning fundamental physics. Actually, pull equals movement, cause and effect.
Ah, right, that direct feedback.
Precisely. And that predictable feedback loop helps them understand they have agency. Plus, the feel of wood is different. That tactile experience engages different sensory processing than, say, smooth plastic. It's grounding.
Grounding. I like that. Okay, speaking of sensory input, let's talk music. The Baby Einstein musical toy piano. Our analysis flagged the light-up keys, the different sounds, music modes, creative play. What did the research highlight about introducing music this way?
Well, the key thing seems to be how those light-up keys create a really direct, intuitive grasp of cause and effect. It's fundamental. You press this key, this light comes on, and this sound plays.
Instant feedback again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's active participation, not just passive listening.
Yeah.
That lays groundwork for creativity, sure, and auditory development. But interestingly, it can even link to early language skills. Children start learning about rhythm, patterns, sequences.
Wow, I hadn't thought about the language connection.
Yeah, it engages multiple senses and fosters those early cognitive connections in quite a sophisticated way.
Fascinating. Okay, let's move on to reinventing classics. We looked at the soft stacking rings plush toy, like the traditional plastic ones, but soft. Sources note they're safer, colorful, great for motor skills. What's the real value add in just making it soft?
Well, the sources really emphasize the safety aspect, obviously, but also the enhanced tactile experience. Making them plush means they're much safer for very young babies, the ones who explore everything with their mouths.
Right, less bonking on the head, too.
Definitely. But crucially, the different soft textures give different sensory input. It helps develop what's called haptic perception, understanding objects through touch. Yet it still does the core job effectively, developing fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination through grasping and stacking.
So it keeps the benefits, but adds safety and sensory richness.
Precisely, a smart adaptation.
Okay, thinking about materials. For listeners interested in sustainability, the Green Toys car set stood out. Made from recycled plastic, durable, good size for little hands. Obviously, being eco-friendly is great. But did the sources suggest any maybe downsides or unique benefits beyond just being green?
It seems like a great example where sustainable play really meets developmental needs head on. The main benefit is still the play itself, right? Pushing the cars, crawling after them, gross motor skills, imaginative scenarios.
Sure.
But the brilliance here, I think, is the subtle introduction to environmental consciousness. It models responsible consumption. And the sources didn't really mention trade-offs and features. If anything, they highlighted that these toys are often built really tough. So they withstand that vigorous toddler play, making them practical and eco-friendly.
Good point. Built to last. Okay, shifting gears a bit now. Sometimes a gift isn't purely about active play, but more about connection, sentiment. That brings us to the personalized stuffed animal. Highlighted for that keepsake value baby's name, birthday embroidered, timeless. The sentimental value is obvious, but does the research suggest these contribute to active development, or is their value just different?
That's a really insightful question. The materials suggest they serve a different but equally vital developmental purpose. It's not a play toy in the skill-building sense, no.
Right.
But items like this are absolutely crucial for fostering a child's sense of self, their sense of belonging. They often become those cherished comfort objects, right? Helping with emotional regulation, security, that ties into attachment theory. So they're not just things, they're tangible memories, really important for emotional well-being and that budding sense of identity.
That makes sense. Profound meaning in simple objects. And speaking of simple, but maybe stylish, the baby sock and headband gift set. Practical, looks cute, matching sets. What's the bigger picture here developmentally?
Well, it's a nice example of utility meets aesthetics, isn't it? On a basic level, socks mean warmth and comfort, which is fundamental for a baby's well-being and sensory regulation. You don't want cold feet.
True.
Beyond that, though, the sources touch on how these things play a subtle role in a baby's early presentation of identity. How a baby is dressed can influence how others interact with them. It contributes to early social cues, bonding.
Never thought of socks that way.
It's about comfort, warmth, and maybe that first little hint of personality through style.
Right. Now let's tackle a common challenge. Creative play without the epic mess. The Crayola My First Touch Lights. Pitched as a mess-free art experience. Babies use fingers on a light board. Why is mess-free so important for encouraging that early artistic spark?
That really gets at fostering intrinsic motivation for creativity, I think, by removing the usual barrier, the cleanup worry this toy lets babies just explore, experiment with cause and effect, with color, completely uninhibited.
Right, no adult hovering anxiously with wipes.
Exactly. It lowers that psychological barrier. It allows for unfiltered experimentation with light and color. It empowers them to be little scientists, basically, laying groundwork for cognitive flexibility and creative problem solving later on.
Removing the friction for exploration.
Lily.
Brilliant. Okay, one last toy. And this one seems designed to cleverly redirect that relentless baby curiosity. The Leapfrog Learning Remote. It's framed as a safe, educational alternative to the real TV remote. Lights, songs, teaches numbers, words.
Yes, this one is masterful at tapping into observational learning. Babies are fascinated by what adults use, aren't they? Especially remotes.
Oh yeah, always grabbing for it.
So by giving them their own safe educational version, you're channeling that natural instinct. That exploratory drive gets directed into learning. They mimic the actions they see, building their understanding of how things work, while picking up numbers and words.
So it turns that common household battle into a learning moment.
Precisely. Takes something intriguing and makes it educational. Very clever.
So as we sort of wrap up this deep dive, it feels abundantly clear that these engaging baby toys are so much more than just things to play with. They really are sophisticated tools, aren't they? Often very carefully designed to support critical developmental steps. Everything from motor skills and coordination to cognitive growth, creativity, even that deep emotional connection. They're like first teachers.
Yeah, absolutely are foundational. And if we really stop and think about how these, well, seemingly simple toys foster such specific fundamental steps, building neural pathways, nurturing emotional security, it does raise a pretty interesting question for us to ponder. How might the combination of different types of engaging, play the physical, the cognitive, the creative, the social emotional sticker, how might that mix shape a child's unique way of learning, solving problems, and just interacting with their world as they grow older?
That is a powerful thought to leave everyone with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the really quite fascinating world of developmental play. We hope this encourages you to keep exploring and observing just how profound, thoughtful play can be in a child's life.